everybody, what's up? How's it going? Doodles and Derby here. I wanted to talk about something that happened a couple of months back. I may or may not leave out like a great amount of detail just because one, my memory isn't always the best, and two, I've tried to push this out of my mind. I had went back and forth about it thinking, well, should I even make a video regarding this? And I knew eventually that I would. I came to that conclusion because I think it's super important. It's a reminder that you can be going about your normal day and something just off the wall happen, and you always need to be aware of your surroundings. With that being said, oh my gosh, it's 4K, can y'all tell? I just got an iPad. I had saved up for it, and yeah, I'm super happy because now I'll be able to do some digital art, and I will be putting up some prints in the shop eventually. For now, you can always go to www.doodlesandderby.com, which is link in bio, and yeah, I've got some paintings up there. 20% of the proceeds will go to St. Jude. Just wanted to input that real quick. All right, now on with the story. So, again, just a reminder, I wanted to do this video to kind of educate people to trust their gut, because that day I had a couple of signs that were telling me that I should have turned around and went home. And yeah, I also want to preface all of this by saying, I don't know the person's intentions. I don't know the person. They could have had something mentally wrong with them, or they could have just been very awkward and went about talking to me the wrong way, which I don't think so, but I want to include that because I don't want to come off as I'm trying to be a victim or anything of that nature. So, a couple months back, me and Star, she's over there, she don't want to come over here right now, she's taking a nap. Me and Star, we went to the dog park. We had been going like every day. We went on a walk. Well, as soon as I got onto the trail, I seen someone I had seen the day previous. And they stopped me and said hi. And they were talking to me. I'm going to call him Bob. That wasn't his name. But it was a real generic name like that. Just throwing that out there. Well, Bob had lost his job. He said he was looking for a new one. He said that he had worked for some security company. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your job search goes well. He was from out of state, so he said. Yeah, and he was like, well, it was really nice talking to you. I'll be seeing you again real soon. That should have been a red flag. If anybody says, I'll be seeing you again real soon, run. Run the other way, unless you know them, because that is like, in itself, a weird way to word things, but I was like, okay, he's just trying to be nice. He liked talking to me, whatever. Also want to interject and say, this guy wasn't like the most attractive guy I've ever seen. He wasn't the ugliest guy I've ever seen. He was just a normal looking dude. He had normal clothes on. Nothing really was standing out to me. I did have a feeling in the pit of my stomach, like, this is kind of weird that he's sitting here talking to me for this long. And I was like, well, before he said bye, I was like, well, I gotta hurry so I don't, be walking out of the park in the dark, because it was getting close to dark time. Of course, the past few days before that, I had been walking there in the dark, which that's not good to do. I know that, but anyways, especially if you're by yourself, it's just not really a good idea. But I have been comfortable with the area, but that's the thing, you can't get too comfortable. Well, so me and him said our goodbyes, he and I said our goodbyes, and I started walking. I probably walked for like an hour to an hour and a half, I'm estimating, because I never stayed there more, than that amount of time. And I had been walking with Star. We were on our way back. It was already dark. had seen like a couple pictures of, well, I seen some mushrooms that I took a couple of pictures of. I thought they were pretty. I barely spotted them in the dark. And I realized my phone was like on probably 3% battery life or something like that. And I'm like, oh no. And at that moment, I got a feeling in the pit of my stomach. I was like, wouldn't it be strange if Bob was waiting for me in the parking lot when I get out of here and it's completely dark? Wouldn't that be like a horror movie? That ain't gonna happen. And I was like, what if it did? And guess what? It freaking did, man. So, parking lot, you can kind of, from the trail, you can see the parking lot from quite a ways away. I don't know how many feet. I'm bad at estimating that. Well, I got up to where I could see the parking lot from the area of the trail I was at before getting up on the parking lot. And I seen Bob pacing in the dark. It was only my car, his car, and one other car in the parking lot. He immediately sees me and he's like waving me down. And I'm like, oh no, what do I do? My phone is about to die. I literally usually have something on me. Not today. I don't have my knife on me. I don't have my pepper spray. I don't have anything. Because I left my backpack at home. And I was just like, this would happen like this. I'm like, I feel like an idiot for leaving any kind of tool I could have used to protect myself at home. So, also, always carry something on you. Unless you're like in an area where you legally aren't allowed to. Yeah, that was a big lesson that I've now learned. Should have probably learned it further in the past, but here we are. So I see Bob, he's waving wildly at me, and I realize his trunk is open. And I just immediately, I freeze for a second, and I'm like, I really don't know what to do. I get my phone out ready to call the police. I don't want to call them, which is another thing. If you feel like you're in a bad situation, go ahead and call them. It doesn't matter. I should have went ahead and called them, but I was like, well, I don't want to do that, and maybe him just be trying to talk to me or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. If you feel uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable. That's it, period, end of story, nothing else matters. Well, this is just what I did, and again, you live and learn, right? Got my phone out ready to call, and I walk with Star, and I'm keeping a short leash on her, but I'm making a beeline for the car. I'm not going over there to talk to him. I'm like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go over to your car where you could possibly use your imagination. You know, anything could have happened. Well, I immediately go towards my car, and I make it a couple feet from my car, and he comes up and he starts petting on my dog, and I'm like, hey, like, I gotta go home. And he's just sitting there making conversation still, even though I'm like, hey, I gotta go home. And I really don't want him petting on Star, but he had already pet on her. That's another thing. Don't let strangers pet your animal. I know that everybody that sees Star wants to pet her and love on her. And after this, I've realized it's a bad idea because she got used to him petting her. And I think if things went differently, she may not have protected me as much as like if I didn't let him pet on her. That's for, just more information, throwing that out there, something you might not think about because I didn't. So he's petting her, and I'm just like, well, gotta go home. And he says something strange, and of course I'm paraphrasing because, again, I'm not telling you this like days after it happened. This already happened months ago. He's like, he said something, and I was like, well, do you like it here? And he's like, yeah, I really do like it here. He's like, my uncle told me to never talk to strangers but I find it really easy to do so here. But he didn't say it like that. He said it in a much weirder, not good way, and it just was another red flag. Like, oh no. He's like, I do like it here because I can talk to people that normally wouldn't say anything. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. Like, okay. In one part of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe he's he's just really lonely. But I don't think so, considering his trunk was open. He kept trying to, like, basically get me to go to his car without saying it. And I'm just like, well, I hope you have a good night. I gotta go. And he still keeps talking, and I'm like, I gotta go. I just was like, I gotta go. And he says something else, and I'm like, I don't know what made me do this, but I was like, I've had a really rough year, past year. I was like, I've dealt with cancer, among other things, and I'm tired, and that's why I'm out here walking, to try to like make myself healthy and stay healthy and not get sick again. I don't know why I said it. It was probably really awkward to have said it. I should have just said, I gotta go, and went. But something made me say it. And when I said that, it's very strange because he backed off. He started backing up because I had been backing up almost the whole time as he was trying to like keep coming at me. And because I was getting ready to kick him if I had to. And yeah, he backed up. He's like, well, I hope you have a good night. And I was like, okay, bye. Got in my car, and I immediately I start bawling. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get home. And I called a couple of my friends. Nobody answers because everybody's busy. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I left a couple of my friends, including my mom, a voicemail, just in case, like real quick. I was like, hey, went to so-and-so dog park. Something bad happened. This guy may or may not follow me home by. And I was like, I'm going to go to the police station. Well, as I was driving off doing that, he just had the most weirdest blank stare on his face. And he was like looking off into the woods, like towards the trail where possibly maybe that other person that had their parked car could have been walking, or they were wondering where they were at. I don't know. All I know is that look he had on his face was very uncomfortable. And I just sped into the parking lot of like the nearest place that was busy, and I had to have a moment to myself. Again, I don't know his intentions. He could have been trying to steal my dog for all I know. Or he was just very weird. But A, why was his trunk open? B, also I forgot to mention, he's like, I don't know how you can see in the dark. And I was just like, that's just weird. Like, why would you say that to somebody? I don't know. He had also said that. He's like, how do you see in the dark? And I'm like, because you can't, unless you got your flashlight out. And I was walking in the dark. It didn't really bother me because I had been doing it for the past few days. But, gosh. Anyways, got into the parking lot, messaged a couple more of my friends, and they were like, yeah, go to the police station. And so that's what I did. I went straight to the police station, told them. They're like, yeah, that's very odd behavior. They made me describe him. I told them every little detail I could about his car. Here's another thing. I didn't take a picture of his license plate because he was watching me, and I didn't want that to cause confrontation. I should have regardless, so they could have checked him out. That's another thing. Like, I do beat myself up about that because, yeah, I just do. Because that could have helped them locate him, and if he was, doing some crazy stuff, they could have found him. I don't know. I didn't memorize it, didn't look at it. I was too busy trying to get to my car. And that's just hindsight. And I'm shocked I made it to my car, to be honest. I just had the worst feeling in the world. And I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all that, share my story. Why am I sharing this near Christmas time? I've been putting this off, but also people act the craziest around the holidays, and that's especially when you need to be like at your most aware. I guess you should always be aware of things going on around you, but people get desperate around the holidays, and yeah, I just wanted to come on here and share that with y'all, and I guess make y'all aware in case y'all ever come across anything weird, strange, somebody making you feel uncomfortable. Always trust your gut and turn around. And if you got to go back another day with a friend, which is what I should have done, do that. Don't risk anything. Don't be walking by yourself and at night, which I'll be honest, I still do sometimes, but it's not anywhere like too far from home. And I try to let someone know where I'm going at all times. That's always super important. So yeah, that's my story. Glad nothing bad happened. I'm glad I got home safe, and I'm glad Star's okay. I don't know what I would have done if somebody stole my dog. I would have lost it. I love Star so much. She's basically all I got, other than Malcolm in there. But yeah, I love y'all. Stay safe. I hope y'all have a good holiday season. Which somebody asked me if I'm doing Vlogmas. No, not doing Vlogmas. Maybe next year. I'm more of a Halloween person, if y'all don't know that about me already. I love Halloween. I do like Christmas too, but for me, it's not as fun. Like, I like getting people gifts and stuff, and, you know, I think spending time with family is always important, but something about Halloween is just the best. Unless you're in a scary situation like the one I just told you, then Halloween's not fun. So, yeah. Again, I've been putting up paintings on my website. I'm going to try to do some more digital art here soon, because I realize not everybody has the money to purchase like an original art piece. This is going to give variety to my shop and allow people to purchase from me if you really want to support me. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope y'all have a wonderful and safe Christmas or other holiday if you celebrate it. And I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.